Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Sweet. Hey there guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Titch and you're watching Titch Vision. And today I'm going to be reviewing the latest SpongeBob SquarePants movie, SpongeBob the Movie, Sponge on the Run. I like SpongeBob. Yeah. Can you believe that SpongeBob SquarePants has been on our screens for over 2 decades now? And to be honest with you, I'm glad it is. Even though I believe that it's past its golden age, it's still nice to see the yellow sponge and his best mates all having wacky, crazy adventures together. Even if you get episodes like the Splinter. Okay, I think it's past. Even if it's taking the mickey out of Squidward for an entire episode just for cheap laughs. But for the most part, SpongeBob makes me pretty happy. So today we're going to be talking about the third film in the series. The first film was actually pretty good. The second one, not as good, but I thought it was still very entertaining. To be honest, if the third film was as good as the second film, I'd be genuinely happy with it. But is it as good? Let's find out as we take a look at SpongeBob the Movie, Sponge on the Run. So, what's happening in Sponge on the Run? Well, Gary is kidnapped.
Oh shit!
King Poseidon is looking for a new snail because the snail slime helps him keep staying looking youthful. Plankton picks up on this, so he decides to steal Gary, then sends SpongeBob and Patrick and Sandy's new robot Otto on a road trip to Atlantis City, which makes it easier for Plankton to steal the Krabby Pattie formula. And SpongeBob's friends shortly follow after to help him out. Now, this may seem a bit much for a kids film, but believe me, it really isn't. Once you start getting through the film, you'll start realising that it's pretty straightforward. Now in saying that, to me it's a bit structurally weird and it's a bit bumpy in some parts. Sponge on the Run takes its time at the beginning to establish everything, from the characters to the main plot setup. Now the film uses its time very well, even though it's a bit lengthy, but when SpongeBob starts setting off on its adventure, that's when it starts to get a little bit shaky. I find the ghost town scene really hard to justify. Sure, it has some fun moments in there, like a cool number from Snoop Dogg, and Danny Trejo as El Diablo is a lot of fun, but at the same time, I don't quite see how it fits into the film. It kind of feels like a separate episode of SpongeBob. But after that scene, they just arrive at Atlantis City, and there's nothing else to say really. There was no proper build up to it. It was just like, oh, we're here now, try not to get sucked in by the city lights and stuff, and then we're living La Vida Loca. And I'm a little baffled by this. We also have flashbacks here on how SpongeBob came to meet all his friends, which are all fine except for one. I'm not going to go into it, but it creates a massive plot hole in the TV show, and I find it kind of distracting. Now, the animation for the most part, I'm actually quite fond of. Even though they went for computer animation for this film, they really put the effort in to make it look and feel like SpongeBob. A few examples are SpongeBob's house. It has all the tiny details on what you find on a pineapple, but it's still cartoony enough to make it look like SpongeBob's house. And the other great example is the kitchen at the Krusty Krab. Now in the cartoon, it's brightly lit, and there's a nice mix of blue and metallic grey. But here you can see the wear and tear. It's a little bit miserable in fact. But when SpongeBob's there, it somehow brightens up the place and makes it feel like the cartoon again. Now the new locations are pretty cool too. Atlantis City is nothing new or groundbreaking, but it looks like Las Vegas under the sea, and that's fine with me. The animation and the creativeness of this show is still here, and the animation style of the film manages to keep up with it very well. The characters for the most part look great as well. Same as the locations, the characters are very detailed, but still keep the characteristics. Like SpongeBob has all the holes of a sponge, but he has the bright eyes and gap teeth, so he's still SpongeBob. Squidward has more detailed suckers, but he still has the big nose, so he's still Squidward. Mr. Krabs still has the pointy edges like he does in the show, which I think is great. And Sandy is, oh my god, what the hell have they done to Sandy? It looks like they've painted a toilet brush to make it look like a hobo. I mean, you'll get used to it, but it's not easy. Speaking of characters, they are all here and in all their glory. Now one of the main focuses is SpongeBob and Gary's relationship. They even have a flashback to when they first met, and I think that's very cute. And SpongeBob is still the kind-hearted, lovable goofball. My only issue is that SpongeBob says he's too much of a coward.
What is stopping me right now? Rescuing Gary and standing up to this King Poseidon, huh? I don't have the courage.
Because in the show he's doing crazy shit all the time. So a little road trip shouldn't faze him at all. So to me it doesn't make sense. Now with Patrick, the question is he going to be the Patrick that does silly things but is still good support to SpongeBob? Or is it the Patrick that's a stupid bastard that makes everything worse and makes it painful to watch? Fortunately, we get the Golden Age Patrick, the village idiot that's still a good pal.
Titch sauce. What's the next best thing to courage? A buddy, a wingman, a friend.
And that's what I like to see. And the rest of the supporting characters get a good chance to shine too. Especially Plankton, because something happens to him that really catches me off guard. And it doesn't really bother me that much. All the original cast are here too. Tom Kenny, Clancy Brown, Mr. Lawrence, Caroline Lawrence, Roger Bumpass, and you all... Alright, laugh it up. Yeah, it's a funny name. Yeah, just get out your system. Go on. I'll wait. Go on. Are you done? Good. So immature. And all the cast brought their best here. And Sponge on the Run has new faces here too, with the main villain being King Poseidon, who is trying desperately hard to stay looking youthful. And his villainy comes through very well from a great voice performance from Matt Berry, probably best known for his role in the IT Crowd and What We Do in the Shadows.
A monarch's regime is only as powerful as his skincare regime.
You know, some say I have a face like a Greek god.
But when I hear his voice, sometimes all I can think about is Money Supermarket. We also have Otto, the robot that helps SpongeBob get to Atlantis City, voiced by Aquafina. Sorry if I mispronounced the name. She has a funny line here and there, but we forget that she's in the film sometimes.
Otto, keep it close.
Yeah, don't go anywhere.
Go anywhere. It is my pleasure to serve your fire.
And to be honest, it's a damn shame because there's so much potential there. But the character that stands out above everyone else, yes, I am talking about the Keanu Reeves Tumbleweed. Yes, I'm talking about Sage, the talking tumbleweed that joins SpongeBob and Patrick on their journey and gives them guidance and wisdom. Now, I'm not joking when I say that Sage is the best thing about this film, and it's a performance that is worth watching at least once. He has the funniest lines in the film, and he is just super cool and so chilled.
I'm made out of sage and I am a sage, so it works out pretty well.
I'm Patrick. My name means toaster in Celtic.
Pretty sure it doesn't.
And his design is just perfect. I mean, my goodness. If it was anything else other than Keanu Reeves' head in the tumbleweed, it wouldn't have worked. So it gets very high praise from me. In conclusion, is Sponge on the Run worth watching? Well, it's hard to recommend to anyone who's not a fan of SpongeBob, because there's nothing really new here for them. But if you are a fan of SpongeBob, there's a very good chance that you're going to have a good time here. And for me, I definitely did. The story, as entertaining as it is, the structure is a bit wonky, and it doesn't connect well in some scenes. The animation is brilliant, and the character designs are great, for the most part. Plus the characters are just as good as they are in the show, but SpongeBob's cowardness is unnecessary. And apart from Sage, the characters are a tad forgettable. But in saying that, I highly recommend this film for Sage alone. There is literally no other character out there like him. All in all, whilst it doesn't break any new ground, Sponge on the Run is still a heck of a good time. And what I mean by that, it's just fun. F is for friends who do stuff together. And those are my thoughts on SpongeBob the Movie, Sponge on the Run. But what do you guys think? Have you seen the film? Did you enjoy the film? What's your favourite SpongeBob moment? Leave a comment down below and let me in the know. And that's everything for today, my friends, and thank you so much for tuning in. If you like what you saw, make sure you like, share and subscribe, and follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. I've been Titch, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.